Well, that's just how you roll, Steve. All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of welcome back to another episode of This Week in Search, sponsored by It Depends. Sponsored by It Depends, because on SEO, it depends. So yeah, that's the way I'm going with that. All right, go around the room. Everyone say hello. Tell us where you work, what you're doing, what you've been up to. Mr. Bill Slosky, sir.
Hi, my name is Bill Slosky. I write SEO by the Sea, and I am the director of SEO research at Go Fish Digital, which is an SEO agency in Virginia and North Carolina. And I'm getting to work with some fun clients.
Look at the little smile through the beard there, man. Aren't they fun? I love big clients because, you know, you just can move a couple of things around and poof, 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 things happen, man. Nothing like it. You know. All right, Blair, tell everyone who you are, what you do, what you've been up to.
Well, I do client SEO, I do affiliate SEO, and I also buy houses and fix them.
What did you get up to this week?
Well, to be honest, it was more just really, I believe, of experimentation to get more guest post sites.
You know, I think you just used the proper word that I actually happy with now, because I hear too much of SEO saying testing. We need more testing. No, you're experimenting with crap and you see what you get out of it.
That's the way to go.
I think that's a much better word for it. Franco.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey.
My name is Franco. I am not a rookie. I'm a rookie in the sense of SEO. I'm not a veteran like half of you guys probably are. So I'm here to learn from the masters. I do link building, and so I excel in graphic design. I know you guys were talking about something about Photoshop, so I'm really good at that.
Yeah, that's me. I love Photoshop.
That's my bread and butter. I can do anything on there. If you guys need any white hat, gray hat stuff in Photoshop, if you know what I mean, I can do that stuff.
And you're a professional client. You're a professional client chaser and meeting setter upper, aren't you?
Not really. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
I'm terrible at that. I have the worst luck that setting up meetings. People nice cup.
Comes with the territory, man.
Yeah. I love. I noticed a gentleman here was talking about WordPress installing, taking half a morning to do it. I do a WordPress a lot, so if you need any help with that, let me know. And I do usually like front end development, and yeah, I like to learn. So I'm here to absorb everybody's knowledge. Pleasure to meet you guys.
All right, well, let's go back to Finding Dory now.
Thank you, Kevin Dory.
And folks, sorry, just so you should get the relevance.
Oh, come on! I can't even introduce
I
myself.
am going to go and post a link for you on the page. All right, sorry. Go ahead while I post this link.
I'm the director of SEO at Dealer On Automotive Websites and Marketing, and familiarity with local SEO. There you go, Dave. Now poke at me.
No, I'm good. I'll be going everywhere. And Alan's already got that covered, so I think I'm good. All right. Canadian Steve, you're up next, my brother.
I was just about to share my loading screen for WordPress, but so that's what I've been doing this week. I've been learning all about shopping carts and having lots of fun with WooCommerce, and it looks awesome. So that's it.
Well, and it is, since I know the project in question, you're going from a big commerce to Woo. You're going to be a happy man, because big commerce. Again, any kind of hosted thing, like, you know, right now we're, you know, a new client of ours, we're taking off of Wix and putting onto WordPress, and like, I just not a fan of any hosted platform that I've ever met. So, you know, yeah, you're going to be definitely.
No, yeah, they're always, you know, they're there to ingratiate themselves to the world. You know, there's always something of that. They want to sell themselves.
All right, Mr. Anonymous. Right, he's not allowed to speak. Wouldn't that be awesome if he doesn't speak for the whole show? I like it. He's got to wear this mask more often. So yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Anonymous has been busy messing with the NSA lately and other wonderful groups and taking extremely bad photo ops with, yes, here we go, with the president. There you go. One, yeah. Yeah, I bloated. Yes, so there you go, everyone. That's what he's been doing lately. And other than that, he can't tell you what he's been working on, or else he'd have to kill you. All right, good. We got that all. That's the usual intro. Pretty sure I'm used to it by now. All right, Terry, go for it, man. Oh, now Terry books out of here. Very good, Terry. All right, Tim, you might as well jump in there. Oh, wait, Terry's back. There we go. All right, Terry.
Hey, is this working or?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. We got you.
Okay. I've been working on some programming with PHP. So that's about it.
And he's Terry Van Horn from Van Horn. Wow, that's a new one. Freudian slip. Terry Van Horn. He's from SEO Pros.
Oh, I've been called that before, Dave.
Yeah. And currently working on some new ideas with SEO Pros together. So stay tuned for all that fun stuff. Oh, and Terry and I are actually bringing back the Search Geek Speak. For those who remember the old podcast and hangouts we used to do that are more topical than these kind of things. First show should be in a few weeks. Stay tuned. Myself, Terry, Ross Dunn, and Bill Slosky will be on that. Tim, give it a go, brother.
Yep, we're back. I had to agree to be Bill Gates's towel boy to get Windows to work, but otherwise everything's fine. Oh Lord, you know, I interviewed there once. I'm not sure whether I'm glad that they or not glad that they didn't offer me a job, but anyway. So what's going on for me? I'm working on finishing a little bit of a revision of a project for a client. We built an online learning site for them, and now they want to also have us put their live classes up there. And it turns out that because of the way that their classes are done, the only practical way is to just use WooCommerce and list the class schedules as products. But that actually works. So that's what I'm working on right now, along with getting out all my clients' monthly e-newsletters this weekend. That's fun.
And last but not least is with Sam, but I'm sure he'll just put a fucking GIF up. So.
Yeah, that'll be nice. So what's the question?
Just tell everyone who you are, where you work, what you've been up to.
Wissam from Daytona. I'm a co-founder of GrowthGauge, and we do enterprise SEO consulting, and that's about it.
And just like Steve, of course. I mean, sorry, like Anonymous, you could tell us what you've been working on, but you'd have to kill us.
Yes.
And what have you been doing lately? Trolling Dave with GIFs. Okay, well, that's glad we got that.
It's easier. Just 2 clicks.
Oh God. All right. So many places to go today. So I think I'll actually just start with something a little simpler, and then move on to the more amusing stuff. So, Bill, kind of curious you had that post on Go Fish Digital this week that actually had some stuff that I'm kind of, well, obviously, you know, entities, local, everything else, and how Google may determine similar local entities was the name of the post. So let's get the elevator speech version of that.
Okay, when you search for a certain type of business, Google may decide that they want to show you places that are maybe not as close, but to give you some choice. Because if you're driving, if you have to drive an extra half an hour to get to a place that you might like better, it's good to have the ability to decide. So the thing that was interesting was how they determine local entities are similar. And they do that by looking at the queries they're found for. So if you have 2 restaurants, one restaurant is in a casino and the other restaurant isn't, the casino restaurant may receive a lot more queries and selections in search results for terms other than restaurant, which means it's probably not too similar to a restaurant that isn't a casino. So they can tell by not necessarily looking at words, but looking at how often people visit a page based on a total number of queries as to how similar those sites are, those businesses are. They're not using selections, clicks to rank pages, but they are using them to decide what they might show as similar businesses. And, you know, I thought that type of click selection use was interesting.
Is that also how they would remove some that are too similar?
They want to show the ones that are similar. They don't want to show the ones that are dissimilar. If you seem to want, like, the local restaurant is just a restaurant, they also said they tend to they look at the query logs to find similar sites. They may analyze the query terms based on whether they seem to be high quality query terms or low quality query terms. A high quality query term might be something like a category, like pizza. If someone searches for pizza, they probably want a place that actually serves pizza. So that's a high quality term. If instead of a category, it's something like a location, like New York City. If you search for pizza NYC, and that ends up in the query log, that may be something that they say, maybe that's not quite so important to find similar places. Because if someone searches for Chinese NYC and pizza NYC, they're not that similar. So it was interesting seeing how they would use query logs like that and clicks to determine what might be similar, what might not be.
So you think, you know, using the NYC thing is a sort of, you get the sense of something more geographically specific. They're less likely to look at it, or as far as a high quality.
The geographic-based query terms aren't considered to be as high quality for determination of whether or not a place is similar.
So, Bill, you mentioned that in your description of this that Google might decide to show you places that were, you know, half an hour farther away. That was, you know, I don't know how specific you really meant to get with that, but you suppose that they really take into account local factors like traffic and that sort of thing, and deciding how far afield to go in terms of search results to bring to show you?
They did actually mention traffic within the patent as something that might influence whether or not somebody decides to go to a place.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, that's
and
almost
they also mentioned the types of businesses. Like people might drive further to go to a travel agent than maybe a pizza place or a gas station.
Or a coffee shop or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So this would kind of be part of the re-ranking scheme, Bill?
This would be, if you're looking for a certain type of business, they might decide to show a number of the similar businesses in the results they show you. So it's not necessarily ranking as it is, here's other places that you might find interesting too.
Right.
Well, right, Terry. So it's not really a boosting element opposed to just almost a internal pseudo query reformation, I guess, something like that, Bill. You mean like, okay, so you know, almost like you might also be interested in on Amazon or something, right? Like a recommendation engine almost.
It's likely that Google ranks things in maps based on a couple of different factors. One might be a distance from your location history. Another might be a location prominence score, how often you get mentioned across the web in a consistent manner. And the third one might be the relevance of your business, the title of your business to what a person might be searching for. So what they're saying is, in addition to those three ranking factors, they might also decide to show similar businesses to the ones that they show you to give you more choice. So if you say, I want to find a coffee house in Carlsbad, California, they might say, okay, here are 5 very similar coffee houses that have maybe that are, what they're doing is looking at the query logs for those to determine how similar the search terms people are using to find them. Which is something that's kind of hard to optimize for as an SEO.
Well, yeah, no, again, but again, because it's going to be somewhat personalized. I remember, 2005, 6, whatever, when we used to talk about personalized search. Now it's almost the norm. It's just so ubiquitously all over the place. It's not something you really can go out and optimize for. So.
Well, I've seen commercials on TV where certain brands and products say, search for us at using Pontiac. So they're trying to influence what people search for. And I've got one client that was being found for things that were shown on their TV commercials. They show lots of TV commercials. And the things that people were searching for weren't necessarily very competitive things. They started using more generic terms and started getting found in search results for those.
So almost like it almost becomes like a quasi query in the sense you could almost take like a QDF thing and mix it up with a navigational thing, because people are only looking for this site when they're using this given term that's being searched for. It could be a tagline or something from a commercial or whatever.
If the similar
idea. Okay.
All right, go for it, Steve.
No, I was waiting for Bill to finish, but I was going to add to what he had said. I didn't want to interrupt.
If the similar local entities are being identified based on query terms used to find them, it means that you can think about those query terms and what people might search for to make sure you get included in similar results for your business.
Okay, so let's take it a step further, next level, right, guys? Because this is what we talk about. We talk about the future of SEO, right? God, that's weird. Whose chair? Where'd they go? Anyways, okay. So think about from an IoT perspective, right? So what about if I'm searching for New York style pizza and I'm actually in the kitchen, would it then at some point, or number 1, give me a recipe for New York style pizza? 2, give me a location of a place that serves it or delivers it, or tell me what ingredients I have in my fridge that are required to make New York style pizza, and do I have that necessary information? At some point, then we would assume that I've gone to Crate and Barrel, got a deep dish pizza pan with a SKU code on it, and registered it that I have that pan in the inventory into my IoT device.
Well, right, but again, remember last time we were talking about the Google Assistant and all that kind of stuff. You could assume a difference, but from the OK Google voice search, that it might start to infer all that information. Now we're querying our life or our current situation as opposed to a generalized informational query to the search engine itself. So I could see something like that at some point for sure.
It's interesting you mentioned the audio assistants, the digital assistants. Google does have audio watermark technology. So if you hear a commercial on TV about a specific product, and your Google Home also hears the same thing,
right?
And you'll each broadcast,
and then you go, okay, Google,
it knows that you watched the commercial.
It's going to infer that context.
Yeah, I think Alexa has it too, because if you have an Alexa, you'll notice how it responds to the TV half the time. The Super Bowl, you unplug, or we're not going to get dinged for Super Bowl, the Super Bowl. Unplugged my Alexa during the Super Bowl.
But yeah, Steve, you know what I mean? Again, I could see this being part of how the association of what you're searching for starts to play in at some point.
And
You know what I mean, is this a Google Assistant situation? Is this a Google Web Search situation? And inferring how that, you know, which database or like, you know, even like Bill's saying, okay, let's give them a mix of this. Let's give them a little bit of this answer and a little bit of that answer. You know,
You also might get personalized based upon a media consumption history. Google does have 5 or 6 patents about that, where they say they'll track what your likes and dislikes are, who you buy tickets to go see, what you watch on TV. And you can see that in Google now. It'll start showing you stuff about TV shows you might watch. I think you can provide information about that, telling it what your preferences are, but I don't know if it just uses the information you provide.
well, you know, Steve, one of the things I've been, you know, on my list of things to mess with my family lately is you know, programming my own Google Actions. Right, so I'm working on a set of these through, you know, their own metadata and the APIs and stuff, so that my own family can say, okay, Google, where did Dad, or what does Dad like, or for what does Dad want for his birthday, or where did Dad leave this, or where. I mean, you can literally start programming your own actions into the Google Assistant. Now, once I'm done playing with it, I'm just doing it to fuck with my family. But as a company, again, you can do this. Like Stone Temple was doing this last week, and they, you know, they did a bunch of basic actions they programmed. And it was, okay, Google, ask Stone Temple what they think of redirects. And it would come back with various posts and things they had written and done that they programmed into the Google Assistant, right? So as a company, this is another way you could start to really play with it, is once you become a ubiquitous brand to someone and you get this you know, enough of a database of actions, people can use Google Assistant just to skip the web search altogether because you're a trusted source, and just go to OK Google and ask what you think about something. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Google, what does SEO Dojo think about, you know, HD Access? Stuff like that, right?
Well, I think we have to provide the pivot points in schema, in rich snippets, in featured snippets, in metadata, in proper coding of a website, to where, okay, you know, then now we're going to start back into the entity conversation, right? You know, because what is it and where is it? And then as an entity, if I'm searching for entity on a mobile device, I want this. If I'm searching for entity on a desktop, I want this. If I'm searching for entity on a voice assist stationary object, but that object is in my bedroom, okay, I might have a different query in the bedroom for my Google Home in my bedroom than I do for the Google Home in my kitchen or the Google Home in my office.
So you think that location history is going to get down to that level of detail?
Yeah, well, no, because, you know, we talked to the guy from Google. He was one of the guys who worked with, you know, doing the inside mapping of like restaurants and stuff like that. And he also worked with like shopping malls and stuff. And those little Google balls that they have in the various retailers in the mall can tell within 3 feet of you being within a product, right? To be able to say, you know, okay, this product in this type of clothes or this pants size or whatever you want is 2 feet from you. So I don't see why they couldn't do that within your house.
So they did come out with a location history patent from Google last week. And it says at some point you'll be able to perform searches like, what restaurant did I go to last Tuesday?
Oh, wait. Okay, Google. Hang on. I'm on Twitter.
Yep, you got mine going.
That's not going to work.
Okay, Twitter. Have you participated in any of the location tracking for Google Guides, Bill, at all?
I've answered questions.
Okay, so part of the thing is now I was at a rather large hotel past couple days and went to Energy Arena, Energy Park, and all these kind of things. So I walked away just to get some exercise. And so basically what it is is this which end of the building? And then it starts to show you the building. And so then I could input like 107, and then all of a sudden my screen would go to that room in the building. And then I had an option of directions to or information internally.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
a lot deeper than what I've experienced.
If you see, the thing is, and part of what I do is, you know, the reason why I don't have Facebook is because of privacy. At some point, I had to trust Google with my privacy because they pretty much, you know, the fact that they read my email and send me ads based on what's in my email. Okay, great. If I don't want somebody to send me an ad on something I don't want, why the hell am I writing an email for it? You know, so I don't have a problem with Google doing that. Not to mention I don't do anything stupid online. So the point being is Google knows all this information about me, but isn't using it to market it to other companies. They're not selling that data. Facebook is directly selling that data to other companies. And I think that's the difference between the two. So I kind of went all in, but, you know, I will pass Schlotsky's and it says, do you want the same thing that you ordered last time? Because there's a barcode on every single receipt that tells you what the food item is for most fast food places. So if you take a picture of that, Google reads that code and tells me what I had. Either that or they're doing optical character recognition and they knew I had 3 tacos, no cheese. You know what I mean? So it was like, do you want tacos again? Are you going to have the same thing for tacos again? Yes or no? And then you just do the whole like Google guide yes or no thing. Make sense? I don't know if you got lit things, but if you enable crap in it, it goes really, really far. You know, all of a sudden Google Maps is telling me about my sleep patterns because I was stationary on one spot.
And again, we kind of touched on some of that stuff last time as far as stuff, you know, Bill and I have read is, you know, and other people we've had on their other shows and stuff. I'm going to step back from this since we ate up a half hour of that. I want to get to some, obviously we're stepping back intellectually here, boys, but it's got to be done because we are an educational outfit here, aren't we, boys?
Hey, LF, are you?
I'd like to just run around and get everyone's thoughts on the disavow. I'll throw mine in afterwards. But oddly enough, I've seen this a handful of times over the last month or so in various groups. And people are not only confused or frightened or whatever, but there's still a lot of confusion about the disavow. And I see things like, well, I just don't touch it because if I, you know, do something wrong, it's going to be a mess, and I just don't touch it. And I find that just after all this time to be kind of fascinating, I guess. I just don't like people. I think the problem is that a lot of people are thinking that if they get it wrong and they put in some domain that wasn't a bad link, that somehow Google's going to ignore it and take away from their link. But that to me is, you know, and again, I've talked to Matt and people in the past about this. That's like saying that Google's letting us control how they evaluate the link graph. And that's just not the case. You know what I mean? Like if you put something in that disavow that's a legit link, believe me, Google's going to count it still and just ignore that. It's a directive. It's kind of like a robots.txt. It's not a hard, fast server rule like an htaccess or something. So
yeah, I think
anyways,
that at the time that they released the disavow, that it's only a suggestion. They'll decide whether a link is good or bad.
I'm a little bit reminded of the depth of instructions and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that goes with those instructions. They're on the same level as perimeter handling, which is short for don't mess with this. I mean, how many people do you see actually use perimeters to determine whether or not Google indexes or crawls certain pages?
Well, yeah, again, it's just that fear that somehow they're going to screw themselves with it. But that would intimate that you actually think that you have control over, you know, Google's link graph. Apparently even the black hats don't believe that, or they'd be hacking into sites or hacking into your Gmail or wherever and going and putting disavows on everyone's sites. You know, it's not happening.
The default instruction is let Googlebot decide with perimeter handling, which maybe is kind of questionable. Because,
which it is. You know, again, like I'm not a fan of that. I tend to be a little anal with that section of Search Console and stuff. I do like to dig in there, but
and I've seen canonical link that were clearly very wrong and poorly implemented, and hope that Google was ignoring them in some cases. Except for the last site I worked on, in which there were a bunch of spider traps. And I didn't want all the paginated pages indexed because it would have been way too many of them.
yeah.
So I was, in that case, that Google decided not, or to follow those canonicals, even though they were wrong.
You know, I used to sit around and talk to Matt about it because I was doing forensic work, and and before it came out, I was like, there's got to be a way for me to come into a situation and say, all right, I'm the new guy on the job. Whoever the fuck was here before me, mess of things, sorry, new guy here. And, Terry, you even remember when I showed you some emails from Matt, and Matt was like, something's coming on the way. And, me and Terry used to laugh because we're the ones who actually came out, if it wasn't for me and Terry, there would be no disavow. But, and then because Matt one day said something's coming, and then that came out. But again, it's just a way, like the word literally means, you're just disavowing past deeds. You're disavowing past things, or and that was before negative SEO was really as big a thing as it became. And you're really just saying, okay, this is an oops, this didn't, sorry about that. And and I even talked to Matt to the point that I said, well, if I've got a client, or if somebody I'm talking to wants to do this on a monthly basis, look for crappy links and disavow them or whatever, should they ever get a manual action, would this help them? And he said for sure, because it's showing diligence. It's showing that you're paying attention, so you give a shit, you're on that. And so when whoever the reviewer is on your manual action, when you do a reconsideration request and you mention this, they can look at that history for the last 18 months of you trying to really hard keep an eye on that shit. So I still think it's something to do, and I've just seen too many people that are actually literally in these groups on Facebook going, I just won't touch it. I'm not going to do it. Now, I might screw it up, and it could totally go wrong. But that's making the assumption that you actually can control Google's link graph, which you're not gonna.
I mean,
Google's not gonna let a bunch of SEOs and webmasters control their link graph. Come on.
You know what that thing is actually used for, and I can tell you a business use case. Okay. Hi, Steve. This is Melissa, your boss. I'm in a meeting with the CEO of Walmart right now, and he wants to know why when we put in email Walmart, Walmart.com doesn't come up and the corporate site comes up. Well, remember a long time ago, we used to have the big ORM issue 10 years ago before we did the process. So the thing that happened was corporate.walmart.com was what I got to do SEO on for all the social issues. So when there was a China issue, we developed a China section on corporate.walmart.com. And so we would, then that's how you did negative SEO. That's how you push down bad news, is you created content. And so corporate.walmart.com ended up outranking walmart.com for a while. So he said, we want email Walmart. We want walmart.com to come up. I can't. Okay. So what I did is, since I was webmaster of corporate.walmart.com, I took the exact page that was number one above Walmart.com for email Walmart, and I went into disavow tool. I pushed it in there. I pushed the button, and I said, sir, please hit refresh. And my boss loved me, because at that point he goes, that's exactly what I want. Thank you, sir. And so what it did is it took that corporate.walmart.com site out of number one. The dude hit refresh and Walmart.com was number one, exactly what he wanted. And I did it in like 9 seconds on the phone for the dude. That's what the disavow tool is useful for. Understand?
But don't you think that people overuse that? I mean, is it even, was that in the past? No, I'm not at your level, so please don't,
No. And honestly, you've taken the initiative to be on this call, so give yourself some props.
Thank you.
Okay? Because there's 100,000 people out there doing SEO, and they don't realize that the dude who actually wrote the copyright for the meta tag is sitting here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's the whole point. You're here. So the question, go ahead, ask your question again.
Yeah, don't you think that can be flawed, because it's there, and it's kind of like growth hacking. I think that people that are pros sometimes have too much going on in their head, that when somebody who doesn't know shit comes on board, they're like, well, why can't you just do it this way? Yeah, holy shit, why didn't I think of that? You get me? I'm not saying that that's what you're talking about, the situation, but can't you know, it's like marketing. The minute marketers find out about something, they ruin it for everybody. And so the disavow, don't you think that if too many people know how to do what you just did, the 9-second thing, and boom, it's up there, everybody would be doing it. So does it work now, or did it work in the
no. Here's the point. I had my email address registered as the admin for the Google Webmaster account for Walmart.com and corporate.walmart.com. So I technically was the owner of the website, corporate.walmart.com, because it's a subdomain name and you have to register it separately. All right. Now I'm gonna help you out a little bit here. If in a day and age we have subdomain.domain and we've got HTTPS. So you've got a www version that's not secure. You've got a www version that is secure. Take off the www, you got just domain.com and you got the secure version, right? Hang on. Now, if you've got a subdomain, you now got to do the HTTPS and the non-HTTPS of those. And you have to set up 6 different Google Webmaster Tools accounts. One for each separate domain name being SSL or not. Now, Google at some point will merge that, but right now, that's the way it does it. And so normally when you put an HTTPS up there, you say this is the default you want in Google Webmaster Tools. And now all your analytics and crap goes into that one account and there's nothing in the other 6 anymore. Make sense? So because I'm the owner of that corporate.walmart.com, I'm God to Google. So I could remove that. There's no way you could get access and you can't remove things from my website from Google. Okay. So there's 2 different uses for the tool. One is me to manage what my web presence is in Google as the owner of a website. That's what Webmaster Tools is for. Feel me? Okay. The other one is disavow links. Okay. So there's the disavow tool, which is I'm the owner of corporate.walmart.com. Take it out. I want this particular URL removed. I go into Webmaster Tools. I push a button. It takes it out of search because I'm the registered owner.
Owner of both of those properties regardless. Right. Yep.
Right. So disavow links tool is different. If you go in and put in Google disavow, you're going to see Google disavow tool, which is what I'm speaking of. Then you've also got a disavow links tool, which is basically where I go in and I get all the people that link for me from Webmaster Tools downloaded in a database.
Which is your diligence, which is your due diligence on a monthly basis or whatever.
Yeah. And then
speaking of which, guys,
I'm trying to help him. Hang on, let me finish.
Oh, go ahead. God, you never finish though. All right, we'll let this run till next Friday. Go ahead.
Okay, so now I get that table from Webmaster Tools, or honestly, write these 2 things down: Screaming Frog and Majestic. Those are the only 2 tools you need outside of Google for anything. All right, I'm just telling you, straight up OG. Screaming Frog, so you get the Screaming Frog table,
and always cross-reference with the GSC stuff, because what Google sees, what those things sees, can be different, which is usually the case.
Okay, so now that we've got that thing, now we see all the links we don't want. So you see like clubadult.com link into your senior care living center website. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so you don't want to have that kind of stuff. So then you find all those and you put those in a database. And then you take those 50 URLs. If it's more than 50, you upload a database and wait about 5 weeks. Okay. Otherwise, you take no more than 50 URLs, put it in that box for disavow backlinks, click a button. And what that does is that does an anonymous spam report. What that does, that goes to Google, and Google says, okay, I've got.
Well, again, Google is going to control its own link graph. So if it already thinks those links are shit, you're basically saying, hey, it wasn't me.
Well, no.
Or it was the last guy, or
25 guys reported anonymously. Then Paisley Amoeba goes in Google and actually reports it as a spam report with the tool that Matt Cutts used. You're going to see that stuff disappear from Google immediately. You understand what I'm saying? That's the level of stuff where you've got spam reports, but your anonymous spam report, the disavow. If I've got 3 spam reports and all of a sudden I get 50 disavow requests from Google Webmaster Tools, I'm going to automatically put that domain in a sandbox if I'm Google, right? Agreed?
Or at least send a, whatever spam bot over to take a closer look, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean?
Right.
Check out the link graph.
So, hey, youngster, that got your question, right? A little bit more?
Yeah, no, I'm not, I don't want you to think I'm like a noob, because I do have A+,
no.
Security Plus. So I come from the information security side. Like, that's what I was majoring, so I dropped out of college. I just decided to learn on my own. But I get what you're saying. I like all the moving parts. So thank you.
until I know your name, you're the new
Oh,
guy.
it's Franco. Franco's one of my Franco's one of the guys I'm mentoring, buddy. He's in the school of Dave, man. We're on Skype every day and emails, and Franco and I, he's at the top. He'll be a pro in no time, man.
I'm trying to get your dreams back.
Franco and I are in contact daily, man. So he's on the road.
Everybody, if he's in the dojo, everybody is here to help you. There's no stupid question.
Well, yeah, he's getting used to that. But yeah.
Just be prepared for Terry to yell and curse.
No, it's okay. I'm humble. I don't mind being
embarrassed. All right, and before I move on to the next topic, boys, I just want to put it out there to anybody watching, listening now or forever. If you aren't literally using some form of run through on Google Search Console in your monthly reporting, you're a fucking idiot. Because too many people go back to Search Console when shit goes wrong. And that is just stupid. Part of my monthly reporting, if a client says, Dave, I don't want to pay for that, then they're not my client anymore, because I'm looking at crawl weights, I'm looking at crawl budget, I'm looking at site maps, I'm looking at parameters, I'm looking at all that shit every month, and it's part of my monthly reporting, and it's essentially like a doctor and a patient. I want to go and look at that patient, take all the vitals and all the important shit every fucking month, and if a client tries to tell me they don't want to pay for it, they can just see, there's the door, get out. Because it's not, so many people come to me and they're like, oh, I got a problem with my site. So I go, it's not something you do after things fuck up. It's how you make sure things don't fuck up, is by watching incrementally. You know, oh, wait, whoa, all of a sudden, you know, they're crying, all this page crawl went up. I had a guy this week, you know, he gives me a Search Console, and I go in there and go, bro, what's this? And it's like, they got a small site, goes from 300 pages to 5,000 pages.
Oh.
No, sorry, 8,000 pages, right? And I'm like, okay, what's it? I don't know. I've never seen that before. I'm like, okay, so I go through over the crawl errors, and there's a whole bunch of 302 errors to PDFs that, I guess what, all pharma stuff, right? So the guy's been hacked, has no fucking clue, because every month he's not going in there and checking this shit for his clients. I mean, so yeah, to me, it's, you know, if you're not doing GSC reporting of your key metrics and your key health points every month, then, you know, you're an idiot, because that's part of our job. So holy fuck.
Yeah, I think when you go in monthly and update your sitemap, it actually helps with indexation. When I started with the client, they were getting maybe 70, 80% of their files indexed monthly. I got it now to where less than 1% is not indexed.
Yeah, see, most of mine look like that too, Terry. I was doing my monthly reporting for a client this morning. I went in that section and I was like, life is good. Because, you know, out of whatever, you know, 2,000 pages, you know, 1,900 whatever were indexed. And I was like, yep, we got it. We're good. You know, and it takes 2 seconds to look at it, doesn't it?
And the opposite.
Like you and I know this from working together, the opposite's true as well. If, you know, your sitemap section showing X number of pages, you know, let's say 1,000 pages indexed, which is close to 100%, then you go to the site command and you're seeing 4,000, you know, you've got some over indexation issues, you've got duplicate content, something running around in your CMS that you got to go figure out.
Yeah, I find it, it tells you when there's issues for sure. I think, and with the new console that they seem to be building, like I've already found one thing that they didn't do in the past that they're doing now. I think it's going to be a webmaster's favorite tool.
Yeah, well, go ahead. You were talking about that before the show, man. You might as well tell everyone, so, because I thought that was really cool too. So,
what, that they discovered a 301 loop?
Right. You had the infinite loops all running and stuff, and that's something they never picked up really before. Unless I'm missing something with Sam.
I'm working and listening every time.
Christ, you just threw a book in the fucking thing there.
No, that was fucking Steve, wasn't it?
That's Steve, not me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought it was you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's essentially a health check, but it's something you do, and it can be boring as hell to do every month. And believe me, with my clients, and, you know, I get to the first of the month, it's one of the things I do, and, you know, it can be boring as shit to do, but it's that when you stop doing it is, you know, when life bites you in the ass, and all of a sudden you're picking up pieces from behind, you know, the 8 ball. So fuck that shit.
Well, and Dave, if you're lucky enough to have multiple clients, you can take the information you learn in one Search Console and compare it to the other information. So instead of being reactive, you're like, oh, well, I see this. And I luck out that all of my clients are automotive, so I can see if all the dealers are being affected the same way or how long it takes for that to happen. And if you're not in there, you should be proactive with Google Search Console ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I think that's actually a conversation you don't hear too much. You know, again, everyone's running around these groups and forum, which is the new forums, you know, talking about how to get links and how to do outreach and all this other shit. And the fundamentals are being missed. You know what I mean? Like there's so much of the fundamentals, if you're staying on top of it, that is going to save you that time of running around trying to get stupid fucking links and shit. And you know, again, I'm not being rude to anybody who comes to me for help, but 9 times out of 10, you know, I spend 10 minutes in Search Console and start asking them questions, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't look in there. I don't know. It's like,
There are
you serious? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you looking at ranking reports and Google Analytics, and that's how you're doing SEO? You're not looking at the actual data behind the scenes to see what's going on. It just like change logs from your development team. Are you, as an SEO, are you demanding change logs from your development team of your client? Well, no. Why would I do that? Because you have no idea what some guy over here told them to go change in the website that he didn't tell you about, or annotate in analytics, or give you a change log, and so you know you end up spinning your wheels trying to figure all that out. Go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
There are parts of Search Console that I've incorporated into site audits because it makes a lot of sense to include the information. They have stuff like the mobile friendliness and the structured data information that gives you an earful, an eyeful of information that you otherwise wouldn't get just by looking at each individual page of the site. You get it quickly. With the structured data one, you can see all the errors on all the pages all at the same time, which is really useful.
And with modern CMSs, one error tends to replicate over and over. So once you're sniffing on the trail of that one error, you're gonna find a bunch on multiple pages, usually in most cases.
Well, I got like 17 instances of schema on a site. I don't have time to check that all the time, but every month I just go and check in GSC, and I'm, good to go.
Well, it's funny because it seems like everybody wants a new tool, and everybody wants, oh, I want my tool to do this, and I want it to do that. And it's like, half of the information that everybody wants the tool to do is already in Google Console.
How many times do you see that? What's the best tool for SEO? It's like, it's already right there, man. Like, hello.
Google.
Right.
Muscle between your ear is your best SEO.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right on, Terry.
Know what you're looking for, meaning how to come up with a hypothesis and know where to find the information.
I could do SEO with basically 2 tools, Screaming Frog and Majestic. Wouldn't need anything else.
That's it.
Well, Search Console
gives you all the information. That's
I guess Search Console is not a tool; it's a data set, I guess. Really, I guess it's not really a tool.
Yeah, of course, GSC was. I mean, yeah, those 3 tools tells you everything you need. And one thing that I don't think people really look at is
all right, everybody dance.
Mute yourself.
For internal linking, Google is the best tool because it shows you exactly how many links you have internally. And that is a large degree to what affects your indexing of pages is the number of internal.
Well, and passing of equity, regardless of what we call equity, that shows you how it's being passed through. The internal links tool, and is one of my favorites. And I always talk about, I make up my own ad hoc term, which is internal link ratios, meaning like what ratios of internal links are going where. You talk to the average, 90% of the SEOs out there, and they look stupid at you. Like, well, I don't know. What do you mean? What are you talking about? What does that mean? What?
Yeah. Remember when we were working for the spa company, and that's how we figured out why the U.S. was out ranking the Canadian site in the Canadian index. It was because there were more internal links to the U.S. site than to the Canadian.
Well, yeah, the way that was being passed internally, than how it went from the mothership out to the 3, because they had for folks not intimate like Terry and I, it was they're an international company, I guess, because they had UK, they had Canada, and the States. But you got 300 dealers all with their own websites, and so you're trying to now figure out this link graph and this passing of equity from links coming into each of the sites, links going out from each of the sites, links internally on each of those sites, and you got to figure out this whole fucking mess to figure out why one is eating the other's lunch, and because you got one city beside another that's getting ranked where it shouldn't be, and it was quite the fucking mess when we came along. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot more control over the internal links on your site than external links to your site. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's something you can control and move that equity around as needed.
That's why your link strategy should start internally, not externally.
Well, your entire SEO strategy should start internally.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
Really. So many people just come on a job and like throw more, and they still do it, Terry. I swear to God, it stopped for a while, but it's back to that. Just throw more links at it. It's all I read these days.
It's already got 1 million links, but we're going to move the rankings by adding more links.
Yeah, because that's the only answer most of these dickheads have for SEO. It's not, fuck technical, fuck any of the architecture, fuck any of the rest of it. Just throw some more links at that. That's what we do, right? We're SEOs.
My answer to that when all you have is a hammer.
Hammer, everything looks like a nail, baby. All right, so that segues right into my next point beautifully. All right, so on behalf of my brother Steve Garanser, who's not here this fine day, and he has been trolling around some of these groups with me, the topic came up today again about links. And how it came up was someone was talking about Wikipedia links. Oh, how can I get one? And someone said, well, there are no followed links and this and that. And so Steve tried to impart to them a simple concept, which was, I'm sorry, but does anyone remember the word traffic? Because I don't really give a shit. If I got a fucking link from the Wall Street Journal that's sending me 2,000 refers a day, I really don't give a shit if it's followed or not because they're sending me traffic.
Exactly.
So, Bill, I would love you to chime in on this one, or anybody really, but so what I tried to impart to them, Bill, was that links aren't just page rank. They can be temporal. I don't care if it's query deserves freshness or temporal in the sense of historical linking patterns. They can be a sense of trust. If you're your money or your life site query space and somebody authoritative in that space is sending a link to you, followed or no followed, it can be a sense of authority. Same idea, like I've got links from the Wall Street Journal. I've got links from fucking USA Today, shit like that. They're no followed, but I don't care. It's building authority.
Yeah,
links
but that's just one thing to add to that, Dave. We don't really know what happens when we put a no follow. It could be that Google's saying, yeah, they put no follow, but we want to actually add value to that. So you don't really know. You're guessing whether.
So my point to this group essentially is that everyone's still myopic to this day. Even though they took away the old toolbar page rank that everyone loved, because now we use DA and PA because dude, literally Terry, I was trolling this one kid so bad, man. He was like, well, PA link and this and that. I said, oh, I'm sorry. What is this PA thing? And he goes, PA, DA, their Moz thing. So then I answered back to him. I said, does Google use that? No, they're a Moz thing. I went, okay, thank you, sir. I was like, oh, right.
Say no more.
I was like, you're such a fucking idiot. But again, everyone's just so myopic on a clean followed link. Like this is the thing. Like a whole bunch of PBN clean links are better than a no followed link from the New York Times. Like, are you insane? Are you out of your mind? Does anyone seem to realize that links have more value than mere page rank? So Bill, how many patents have you read that because I guess it's not even, they don't even talk about it in the sense of links. It's an annotation. It's a, we could even get into like local as far as citations and stuff. So Bill, how many ways can you think of other than PageRank that would pass some form of a signal to Google, from a no followed link?
Okay, so in local search, you're trying to build authority to your documents so that your website is the site that shows up for your business. And the way you do that is point a link to your page that includes your business name or your location, or the page mentions your business name and location and links to you. Both of those things
so a citation.
help build your authority as the authoritative page for that business.
But even in regular search, regardless if they're followed or not, there's temporal elements, right?
Link doesn't even actually have to be in a ref to send value. Google has found mentions.
A mention of your company name is
mentioned in search engine land as writing about a patent from Navneet Panda, and they said unmentioned links are equivalent to mentioned links. I said, please, that's wrong. Just remove my name from that, please. And they did.
How did that work
out? They listened. I said, I don't want to be associated with that. I'm not helping that company who wrote that post. It was a sponsored post, and they were selling a tool. And I said, I don't work for them. I don't want to be associated with that because it's reading the patent they're pointing out wrong. It was a patent that determined site quality and whether or not a site was of sufficient quality. And it looked at unmentioned links and links as a ratio and considered them equivalent in the ratio. But it didn't say that an unmentioned link is equal to a link in terms of rankings.
No,
which is what they were trying to say.
My point is, Bill, that it probably has some value, but it's not got the same value as if it was a link.
Right. Except they were saying that it did.
Oh, that's only a moron would think that.
But again, like there is still an inherent there is still an inherent value to a link, regardless if it's followed or not. There is, you know what I mean? There's on a handful of different levels, depending on the source, depending on the location. You know, what I mean, even the temporal nature historically.
When Google does local search, they don't look for links in a link graph to calculate PageRank. They're looking for facts about entities, like the business name, the location, the types of things that they make or sell, the services they provide, the goods they offer, and they're trying to look for consistency of NAP and so on, which tells them whether or not that's correct or not. Because they want to verify. They want to send people to places that they're sure exist and provide the services they say they provide. So it's looking at those facts. It's ignoring the actual links in local.
Yeah, totally.
I think there's also in the community too much of an emphasis on number rather than quality. I know for a fact that I got
but again, dude, I have literally tried. I literally went out and asked people, does anybody know any fucking communities I can go and spend time? Like outside the dojo one, it's almost impossible. This is rampant again. It's like 2010 all over. I mean, there literally is nowhere I can find that people have any sort of common sense about, except for technical, whatever fucking Wiss's thing is on Google Plus. I'll leave you out of it, but yeah, generally speaking.
Can you see my screen?
All right, hold up. All right, we got you.
See where it says total actions? 228 visited their website, 121 requested directions, 64 called. I'd say those are conversions.
Yeah.
Right? So I think I want to stress that Google My Business is huge. Okay. What the info is about your location and all that kind of stuff, how it is updated. You can do bookings now if you're a service business through different providers. You can have your own website.
It's really important now.
right?
And,
You can
and
have
it's
your own
more and more crowdsourced too. You have to really monitor it.
Okay, so this is my Google social feed by viewing posts within search. Now, check this stuff out, because this is all like, this is like this is cool. Anyways, and I'm sure my client's not going to care.
What are you saying, bro?
Well, because
I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
See this right here? In the past 27 days, they've had 7,487 more views than the last 28 days. I'm pretty sure I can do whatever the hell they want. They love me. Okay. But the thing is normally what happens is this is where your local pack is. And on that, I can go in and create a post. Okay. Now I'm going to close these out, but you can see where I've done these posts, and you can see that here I had 1.46K eyeballs on this. Now only one person clicked the button. What's my conversion ratio?
Shit.
Right? Now
lots of zeros, I bet.
Is my view a conversion? You know what I mean? So I think the other part is
it is, depending what your goals are. Conversion is still just a goal, right? What is what are you trying to accomplish?
For a branding campaign.
Now, if that's a brand building exercise, to me, that's a conversion. Because you're still getting brand lift. You're working on your brand lift as opposed to direct conversion. There's always primary and secondary conversions in the world I live in. So
that tells me I want to start doing posts to Google Plus.
You need to do that for local businesses.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Let me show you where's the other part? Latest reviews, right? How old is this? So they still have a long way to go with reviews. Okay. Manage photos. So if customers post photos. So if like Steve goes to your business and puts a roach in your food, takes a picture of it. Okay. You can now edit those things. Remember the thing about the virus we were talking about with the photos? This got fixed because of that tweet, Dave.
Really?
You want to know what we do for the industry?
Yeah. Nice.
So now they've
was
got
it
the
PNGs or JPEGs? Well, it was JPEGs probably, right? Or PNG?
It was the virus I wrote for a JPEG, which was basically a
JPEG. Yeah, I figured that.
Became Anna K because that was it. You pull up it and it loaded. As soon as you viewed the image, it loaded the virus as an executable. And so you convert the same thing to a PNG, which can now be converted to a video as well on YouTube. And you can do crypto mining while they're watching your video with the resources on their machine.
Yes, dude, that was actually one of the things on my list. So we'll get back to that in a second. But go ahead.
But see what I'm saying? Google's going to allow me to add videos, right? Yeah. This is brand new. You didn't have videos in Google Local, okay? Now I can go do videos, whatever. By owner, by customer, do I have 360? Here's interior, exterior, at work, team pictures, right? So team pictures now tells me this is Google's opportunity to say that Bill Slosky works at Go Fish Digital. Okay. So Bill Slosky has been at the office for Go Fish Digital on these days and this time. And then now, how is that going to be used for client information later on? Let's just think about that.
Or for their new job markup and activity. They're getting into the jobs market.
Right. Here's what I was showing you, the difference for this client. And like I said, the client will let me do anything I want. They love me because out of 21,000 total searches, right? Of those, 96.3 are unbranded and 3.7 are branded. So I'm
Stephen, you compare those to analytics? Are you because some folks have reported some discrepancies between analytics data and what they see in the insights.
Well, the difference is sometimes you have a mobile phone that doesn't count right, or a desktop thing that counts twice, right? So I think the thing is from a customer perspective, if these are right now, what I'm doing this for is because right now, today is the 2nd. And so I'm going to go in and take screen caps of these two things. I've already posted them online. I'm going to save them for the customer. Here's how much we got last month. Okay. Like I said, they got 7,000 something views. And of those, 6,500 were search, but 1,000 were maps.
Yep.
So you can see where the thing is. And of those, I have 999 that saw it on maps, but I have 149 actions. Where did the other 750 go? That's what I want to solve for the client. But you can also see as the year goes on, we can see their patterns. We can see their days, what days they get calls on, right? You know, all that kind of stuff. And this is the big thing, photo views, right? You get 12,000 views. Businesses like you get 5,000 views. Why? Because I put up a bunch of photos and then someone in my market said, hey, post photos with Bill Hartzer or something like that. Wasn't it, Kevin?
Yeah.
Say, hey, post a bunch of photos. Remember that? And I'm like, damn, dude, that's my secret. So realize now locally, the competitor that he does SEO for, don't tell him, has started posting photos.
At some point in time,
right. Go ahead.
At some point in time, Google can track the locations of these searchers through the location history, and maybe start showing you that information in your analytics. Say these people who searched for you in maps actually came and visited you.
Right. Now, my thing is what I want is when you drive by the business on the freeway, I want them to get a pop-up on their phone. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Steve, with those businesses, I got a question for you. Have you seen anything or done anything with questions and answers on your Google My Business? Because that's one of the things that we're doing is that we're starting to educate dealers and have our clients go out and put their Google questions and answers. Some people think it's like reviews, and some people will go in and put a review, but most of the time is they're asking questions, and you can go and preemptively put your own questions up as a business and your own answers.
Yep.
That is so fantastic because you can head it off at the pass instead of, and the benefit that we have is if we have hundreds of dealers is that we can learn and use that across all of them. And then that would be standard. Like, this is what people are looking for. This is what their question is. And then even though Google is taking the views from the website, they're getting the questions answered, and we're creating different goals and different conversions.
The only problem, Kevin, is that if you answer everything, it depends. It doesn't really work.
Now, boys, calm down.
I always like Steve. That was unexpected.
Very well played, sir. Well played. If I could put a GIF in here, God damn it, with Sam, get a GIF in there. All right, go ahead, Bill.
Go, Bill.
Kevin.
Sorry about that.
I've been making a point of trying to ask questions rather than answer questions. I've been, as a customer, as a consumer.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense from a consumer standpoint. I'm looking at it from the business side.
Well, I think you have to do both.
I'm trying to, as a consumer, ask questions to inspire businesses to actually answer those questions.
Right, and that's what we try to. And Tim's right, like answer it from both sides. Like you got to go in there and go, like, because the problem I think is as SEOs we don't know how to. I can't look at anything without looking at it like a SEO. I can't look at a result and go, oh, it gave me what it gave me. Yay, I'm happy. But trying to figure out the best, well, I mean, to the it depends comment, it's also a case of how we teach our dealers to make responses to reviews instead of the cookie cutter answer of actually giving somebody something and reaching out that way.
Hey, Bill. See my screen, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I can go on here and I can ask a question right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Does this place do SEO? Question mark. Right? So here's the question. So I posted the question, right? See, question. Okay. Now I'm done. Okay. See questions. Whoa, there's two. Look. So Kevin's point right here, the person asked, what services do you offer? Right? So this is the perfect place for someone to come in and answer this. And I can do this. Here's the thing. Bill does SEO.
It's crowdsourcing.
He is SEO OG.
You gangster, Bill. You gangster. It's the fucking beard, bro.
Right? And then I give a 5-star review, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll take the picture thing, right? Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and take the camera. Then I'll click on Bill. Then I'll take the picture. Right?
Well, this is pretty elaborate.
No, I'm just saying, dude. This is just, it is what it is, right? Add caption, right? Okay. Where are you located? What city, Bill?
Santa
California.
Clara?
Carlsbad, California.
No, he lives
Or you
right in
could
the
just put an
caverns.
extra
actually.
10.
Hang on.
He's in the
SEO,
caverns.
SEO companies, right? So Carlsbad, California SEO companies is what I'm SEO companies. It's too many. That would be spam. Hey man, I don't spam Google, trust me. So now I'm going to put that up there and I'm going to click done, right? Okay, so I can put video up there too if I want. But at this point, I'm now posting this as a customer on your review. Bill, come on, not B-I. I got big ass fingers, sorry. B-I-L-L is very knowledgeable about SEO, right? So I'm going to post this. Now I give you a 5-star review. This is what people get as an incentive for doing it. If I want, I can now share that review, right, to Twitter, right? So there's my review of Go Fish Digital on maps, right? Okay. So here, 5 months ago, somebody asked you a question, what services do you offer? This could be a competitor or a customer, right?
Right.
So better you go in and answer your own questions as reputation defense, like Kevin's suggesting, than have your competitor do that and screw it up.
Well, that's nice and live, Steve, because here it is. I just looked at it on my phone. I'm like, you're a local guide? No shit. Like, really? Like, do they know who you are?
Level 10, dude. Yes.
Wow. So you need to do
realize
this.
I got a lot of features that nobody has. You understand what I'm tracking? As a guide, this
I
is
would tell them that that's helpful.
what?
I'm gonna uptick you as that's helpful.
Oh, good.
Well,
So this is really important, though, as a point. You need to do this both proactively as a positive thing, and also defensively. You need to be looking virtually every day, really.
Yep.
now
They're
that's
in our review strategy.
Yeah.
15,000
So,
is at Walmart. How would you do it in bulk?
oh God, the only thing I can even say about that, and it would be prohibitively costly, is that
Tim, I'll go with Fiverr.
yeah. Well, actually, you know what? It might not be a bad thing to look for on Fiverr, because you need somebody to do this every day and then tell you about it. Right now, the only automated process I know is in Get 5 Stars.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mike Blumenthal has things with Get 5 Stars. He's been working with it as well.
He has been, and that's the only automated tool I know of, unless somebody's written one that I don't know about. But it's
According
really expensive.
According to Wiss, if you look in the chat, there's a link to an API.
There is.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Isn't that
just-
for Google Posts? I don't know if that's Google Answers.
no,
Questions.
not the answer. That's the post.
That's
Google
different.
Posts were those things that had the eyeballs on it that I showed you for my
Oh
client.
no, I know what they are. That's what I thought. I thought they were different.
Anyways, what is that, Wes? What do you got there?
Just for Google Post.
Okay, well, explain it. Don't just give us one fucking GIF answers.
Next time I'll get ready.
Well,
Anyways,
right now,
you said hands on it, so you're in this now, man.
All
What
right.
have you been using it? How
I'll
you
talk
been
about
using it?
Steve, hands-on experience.
Okay, ready? All right, here we go. Thank you for the article, Wissam, by the way. Google's updated, so we got an API now. So these are Google Posts. So basically, you guys know Dwayne Forrester, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
so
yep,
Dwayne
of course.
works at Yext, okay? And Yext basically puts a signature script on websites that can be read as rich snippets within map listings. If Yext controls all your listings, then they go in and they make these things, and they're using a lot of this information to do Google. And Google said, why aren't we doing this self? So ergo, we now have a Google My Business API that is very similar to Yext. Okay. And what that's going to show you is you can manage locations, blah, blah, blah. The API to create edit locations, blah, 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 verified, blah, blah, verified, remember? Okay. But you have to know of RESTful APIs. Do you guys know about RESTful APIs?
Yeah.
Okay, well, probably most of us do, but people watching now or later may not, so please go ahead.
Okay, so the best thing to do is, if not, what I would just check you do is look at the Google Business User Interface, which is what we were talking about earlier, right? So you've got your settings on here, language, preferred, managed location. You've got all the different things you've got to do, but that's just basically the normal work, but basically Google My Business Classic is the same thing. So that's a whole, you got to-dos. We're going to put Google uploads. We're going to put these on there. We can link accounts. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff in there that is for local businesses that definitely needs to be explored.
And the things that aren't yet in the API, like the Q&A, you just have to do manually for now. Or figure out how to scrape it, which is probably what Mike Blumenthal's done, I suppose.
Well, it's you pay, you got, pay fines. I think there's a lot of abuse by Google Guides. Some people are paying Google Guide to go in and give clients 1-star reviews. And at this point, there's a mass of 1-star reviews that go out with no information, and there's no way to remove that as an owner at all.
Well, it goes both ways. Also, there's a bunch of fake 5-star reviews too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and again, Bill, you might want to jump in on this, but I know I've seen more than a few patents as far as not just Google Guides, but reviews in general and how they kind of treat them. They, you know what I mean? They do have hopefully potentially protections in place for that. Like Bill, I've seen a bunch. You've seen some?
Right. One of the latest ones I wrote about was them using location history to check and see if you actually visit the places you reviewed and return to them.
Right.
And
so
if
you got one in
stop
Boston, and then 10 minutes later you've got one in Chicago, and 20 minutes later you got one in New York. And
people review a restaurant and then stop going to it and never return. After a while, they send you a message saying you may consider updating your review, otherwise we're going to diminish your ranking because it's been 3 years and you haven't been back.
Diminish the ranking of that review.
Right.
But it's kind of funny because if you had a bad experience, left a bad review, you're probably not going to go back.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you don't check them every 3 years or so and give them another chance, maybe that's legit.
Do you guys often see, this is a question that I ran into the other day, this roofing company, when you look them up, on the side that Google shows up for the business, it had the wrong website on there. Is that something done maliciously, or like when you clicked on it, it wasn't even let's say JD Roofing Company, it was like some other name, some other website? Do you think somebody did it on purpose, or maybe the owner's an old, he doesn't even know how to use the computer properly and he just put in the wrong thing? I don't know.
It's really hard to screw up. Yeah, if I have a business listing and I don't have a website, right? So let's say you find my business listing, I don't have a website, and you're my competitor. You go put in your website, done, easy. Now,
or was it an accident, Steve? Or could it be like you're doing business as they changed the name, they didn't update it? That's why I would go to the website in the list and try to make the comparison, see if it's related to that listing, to that roofing company. Maybe it's a contractor or something like that.
Here's kind of what happened is there's a lot of people that okay. So there's some people that went in and put in laser hair removal.
Oh, crap. What is this?
Yeah, I think you muted the wrong guy there, Franco.
Yeah, I'm trying to move things around and I accidentally.
You muted Terry, or I muted Terry, and you muted Steve.
I was about to hang up because I don't have to remember. I'm used to Zoom and all the other things. I haven't used this in like, good gracious, how long? How do you undo this? This UI is terrible.
Just click on it. Oh, Steve's name there.
Whoever did this UI for the thing does not know how to.
Oh well, he'll be right back since you fucking.
Plunkett did the UI. No,
I just don't get why. No, but it's my fucking call. I don't see why he should be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But look, you hover over the
usual bullshit. Anyways.
Look, it shouldn't have the icon.
All right, so now that we shut Steve up, anyway, by the way, he talked
I didn't mean to do that. My bad.
He just go on for it. Like I said earlier, man, we'll just check back next Friday. He'll still be talking.
Right. There's two versions of Steve. Steve talking all the time, and
one last thing I wanted to get in here, and it's off the top. It's probably not going to sound search related, but again, it is got to do with ClickBank, and it does have to do with the fact that I've actually talked to a few people lately whose websites have been hacked for this reason, not for links, anything else. So Mr. Garenser has joined us, and he was one who shared a link to an article about some YouTube stuff earlier this week. And I'm going to go here. And just because as a gamer, the fact that I can't buy a fucking GPU at an affordable price anyways, I'm going with fucking, crypto mining. And the bullshit that's going on with it. So, Steve, you ran into I guess it was a ClickBank hack through Google and stuff.
Oh, there's somebody figured out a way to slip a crypto mining currency or a crypto mining script into ads. So if you were on YouTube and while you were watching videos, your CPU was generating cryptocurrency for whoever that ad was for.
Right. So, yeah, for those who are not familiar with crypto mining, it's essentially using processing power to go out and you get a certain amount of Bitcoin or whatever the currency is in exchange for your computing power. So they're essentially hijacking it, right? Go ahead.
We talked about this over a year ago, that I really believe that the proper direction for advertising and websites these days is to, instead of have ads running on the website, run a script that while that person's on your website, their machine is generating crypto for you. They don't have to see ads. Right. They don't have to do any crap, and you get paid.
Right.
And all it's costing them is...
I've actually run into some people lately that they're, instead of being hacked for links, they're actually getting hacked. Websites are actually getting hacked to be used for this as well now.
Yep.
Which is just getting silly. Me personally, Steve Paisley, we're talking about crypto mining now. We did a little end around on you. Anyways, as Paisley, as you might imagine, my concern with this is that GPUs are now double the price they were a year ago because I'm a gamer. So, like you can't even get a good fucking graphics card anymore. So it's getting weird.
I bought crypto.money.
K-R-Y. We're talking about, but this will be the downfall of it. I think, Steve G, I think this will actually be the downfall of it, because not only is this computing power not being used for anything useful, it's actually just being used to, perpetuate itself. But now the nefarious bad guys are figuring out ways to, if it's malware, whatever the fuck, if it's hacking servers and so forth, it's going to be the end of it, because, once the assholes get a hold of it, it's just a matter of time before regulation and other, various legislation comes in. I don't know. That's just my thinking.
It's already coming in some countries. They're already starting to put restrictions on it. I don't know. I can't imagine 30 years ago walking up to saying to somebody, I invented this thing that has no actual value whatsoever, but I'm going to pay you in it.
Yeah. And it's not like all this computing power is going to solve cancer or anything. It's literally just being used to process more bullshit.
Japanese bank.
It's crazy, man.
Japanese bank transactions.
It's just stupid, man.
That's where it started. That, and you take remember the SETI screensaver, Steve?
Oh, yeah. I got one better for you. I've got it running now.
The SETI?
SETI running now?
There is actually what it is a group called I say Bionic, but it's BOINC. And what they've done is they've brought all the distributed computing programs under one umbrella. So you're running one client, and then you can pick all the different things you want to support. Let me see if I've got let me screen share.
That's cool.
There it is. So right now I'm running this, and I reset it at the first of the year. So far this year I've done 101,000 work units for SETI and about 3,000 work units for a new cancer research program that's being run off
There
World
you go.
Community
See,
Grid.
that I don't mind. But this crypto shit is literally just processing power to process more crypto shit. It serves no fucking purpose, man.
It's burning stacks, it's burning tons of electricity, tons of CPU cycles.
A graphics card that was $400 a year ago is now $1,200, which is pissing me off. Because I'm trying to update my machines and stuff, and it's fucking insane. Because they're using GPUs to do it more now than they are CPUs, right? So,
yeah.
And again, now I'm getting reports from people of websites being hacked for the same purpose. So,
well, I know it's going to be weird because one of the other groups that I'm in is a crypto group, and one of them runs a news website all about crypto, and they were just offered $500,000 for their website.
How much?
And did $500,000, and the site's less than a year old. And they did not take it because they got a real bad vibe from the skeevy bastards who wanted to buy it.
I got the term how to buy Bitcoin in Google for #1, and I was like there up until about 6 months ago, about a year and a half. And so basically I did affiliate crypto mining where they would buy machines or buy crypto through CoinDesk, and I was getting a transaction fee. So
there you go.
And that's one of the startups in my book, How to Start a Startup in 30 Minutes.
If you could install WordPress, you can run a startup. That's what serial entrepreneur means. The ability to install WordPress.
Well, or if you're old school, use Blogger.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And there we go. This is my book page. It's on Blogger, and it rocks. And I was, #1 for chatbot advertising, and go Google follow DJ Friday. I own it, but then nobody else does anyway. So yeah, no, this was a while ago when I started Bitcoin. It was at 223. Now Bitcoin, I'm going to tell you, is going to drop at $5,000. That's when you get back in. Until then, don't get back in.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have Bitcoin and you didn't get out at 19. It's not going to go up anywhere. It's going to go to 5. Okay. Then it may start to run back up, but most likely it's going to hover at 5 for about 3 months. And that's basically a lot of statistics, a lot of analytics, a lot of information. Jason Calcanis, at Jason on Twitter, was the guy who said, hey, it's at 19. Now's the time. And he was totally right. And if you got out when he said it, you got out. Otherwise, you watch shit fall. So, That's
but that's a classic future strategy by the crooks on Wall Street. That's why the price went to 1900. When they quit buying futures on it, it'll go right back down to to nothing probably because it's based on nothing. You could put it into a cow patty, and its value would be the shit that it's placed in.
I mean, technically, I used to run bots on EverQuest for Bitcoin, if you want to call it, but it was EverQuest Gold. Same shit. You know what I mean? So I think there's lots of rooms for virtual currency. I think we're going to see a lot of branded ICOs just for the novelty because I can sit there and run a Target screensaver, generate $50 on a Target gift card.
But that's just it. I mean, you used to have things like Kohl's Bucks. Kohl's, like the one shopping store. Although what they're going to do is flip to crypto if they're smart. Instead of doing their little cashback rewards thing, here's your little crypto card that's only good at our store.
Yeah, because it's Target crypto.
Yep. I mentioned Wissam there in the chat that I finally dumped the last of my Netflix stock. He and I talked about them years ago when they hit like $9.
You dumped Netflix?
And it's like, yeah.
Oh no.
Well, you got to. I bought it at less than $20. So.
Oh, I bought Apple 18 and got rid of that, and then I bought Tesla and 2 Bitcoin mining machines.
What I was doing is every like multiple of $50, I sold half of what I had, and finally just recently just dumped the rest of it.
Holy shit!
I wanted about.
Holy shit! Amazon 55. You're up.
Oh yeah, they're up like 6% this morning.
Oh, I won't tell you how much that money that is. But that's
Oh, it was like I was talking to Dave Davies earlier this week, and I was like, dude, just go to and NVIDIA and fucking any GPUs whatsoever, man. Grab that shit till this crypto thing. You want to really make money with crypto? Go fucking invest in GPUs. You know what I mean? And then once it starts to crash, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, hello. Why bother with the crypto bullshit when you just go invest in the guys that are making the fucking GPUs? Like, hello. Like, get your head together.
I know 3 people making money there. But one of the reasons Amazon jumped so much is yesterday or the day before, them and JP Morgan and Chase and whoever Warren Buffett's company is announced that they're creating a new company together to deal with healthcare. And that new company's the one you're going to want to buy into.
Look, Amazon went up $56 and Alphabet A stock went down 58. And C went down 49. What the hell?
All right, boys,
It's been a fun
run
day.
away to our green room so we can talk shit about Rand and other fun things. Man, those were the days. Now he's not even relevant, so nobody cares.
Well, no,
Well,
at this point, I've just forgiven him for all the crap, so I don't have to say bland fish head anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's just things were so much easier back in the day. All right, so we're just going to run around the room, as is the tradition that's been started by Ammon and Bill's bogus fucking adventure. But yeah, now we do these things. So I guess just say goodbye. Tell everyone what you're up for the next week. Anything interesting going on? Mr. Slosky, since it is your tradition that we carry on here at the dojo now, I'll let you go first.
I'm not sure. I've been asked about whether or not it makes sense to look into semiotics for a time with SEO. I'm not quite sure
Really?
how one would do that.
I was going to say that is an interesting. Yeah, you have fun with that.
I've started doing some research and see if I come up with something interesting. Have you seen the BBC's ontology pages?
No, I have not.
They've created ontologies about subject matters that they report on, like sports. When they worked up in the Olympics recently, they wanted to be able to use the right terms that got them showing up in search results.
Oh my God, no way.
What's that?
Turtle. That's it.
Shut up.
No fucking way.
All right, we're saying goodbye. You can talk about this shit in the green room once we're done.
LinkedIn.
All right. Blair, say goodbye. Let everyone know what you're up for the next week, or anything you're doing, or where you're going.
Well, basically, I got access to new guest posting software, so I'm quite excited to try it out. I'm speaking to the founder of it next week, and I'm just going to see how it plays out. Once it's working, I'm going to be emailing a lot of different people to see about getting more guest posts.
Yeah, well, just let them know 2010 called and they'd like their SEO tactic back. That's about the size of it. Okay, Franco.
What are we doing?
I don't know. We're trying to track down some of your clients and get them on a fucking meeting.
Yeah, no.
But other than that, what are you doing the next week or so?
I just to catch everybody's speed, I was not working in the previous job that I was a link builder for a corporate job. So now I'm kind of getting into like what you guys are doing, like consultants. And so I have a lot of areas that I don't know. But I finally got, one client yesterday, got a monthly retainer, and I have another one that has like 4 more projects to do. So I'm working on that and just trying to put things together and got to catch up,
bro. I know personally how hard you've been working from our conversations off all this stuff. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you're not a link builder. You're a content strategist.
No, come on.
I
Where
hate
was
that word, link builder? You can't build links.
What was the old one, dude? Even
content
before outreach. Before outreach, what was the one the Moz coined? What was the one the Moz coined? I forget it now. Fuck. Oh, God, whatever. Anyways, all right, Kevin, yourself, buddy.
I'm still working with Data Studio. I think you and I, if we could maybe offline or online, like in 2 weeks. I was thinking like Valentine's Day. We're waiting. I've been getting
so we can show the
pushback.
love back and forth. I see. All right.
What?
I was going to ask to be
Valentine's Day,
invited.
show the love.
Made it really creepy, Kevin.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean that. Yeah, well, I made it creepy. I made it creepy. You make it creepy every day. I didn't have any masks today. You make it creepy all the time. But yeah,
definitely, Kev.
Data Studio and Scale.
I'm still
trying to figure
constantly
out
learning
Scale.
different things I can hook in there. So definitely, you want to hook up on Data Studio? I'm all for it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, cool.
Holla.
For sure, man. All right, Canadian Steve, what are you doing for the next little while?
Steve Harris, Web Creative. I think I'm probably just gonna really dive deep into WooCommerce this week and really just learn all the little ins and outs, and maybe,
as is always the case with the dojo, my brother, just hit us up as you're going. Again, just go bother Tanya. I'm pretty sure you got her on Skype and stuff. So
Yeah, well,
yes,
I'll
I'm
tell
volunteering you for things.
OC.
Don't worry about it. Yes, I'm volunteering you for stuff.
I don't volunteer. I am a busy bitch. I got no
You're a
time
busy
to
bitch.
volunteer.
No, yeah.
Not to
She doesn't
Still
volunteer.
listening,
She charges.
I'm like full service for TNA.
Worry about it. Anyways, yeah, that's good shit, man. And anything as usual, just let us know.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Garen, sir. Mr. Garen, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Well, this week I fired up my Tamagotchi, so I'm going to be playing with that all weekend. And those of you who are old enough to remember that. And I'm going back into link building because apparently there's a need for that based on what I'm seeing in Facebook groups.
Yeah, we actually did, dude. We actually went through that whole thing before you, because you couldn't get in there. We actually did go into that whole situation you got into earlier, and yeah, we'll talk after we get off the air here. But yeah, that was just and
it makes me want to start here and grab and peel my face right off my skull.
But I wanted to say, and I'll put it out here publicly, thank you so much, because I know you've been hanging around those groups lately with me, and I'm not the only one like trying to rip my hair out. So I do appreciate you hanging out with me. Because yeah, that it gets real stupid. Yeah.
You mean you're hanging out with me? I've been
sorry, you're right. Yes, chicken and egg. You came first. I'm hanging out with you. My apologies.
That's been a problem of mine for a long time.
Mr. Anonymous.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Just say goodbye. Tell everyone what you're doing for the next week, if anyone cares. Because
finishing my book, How to Start a Startup in 30 Minutes. I got to go get some IP registered for my startups. I'm going to learn about the EDM Council and FIBO and the build, test, deploy methodology Bill just sent me that I'm going to geek out on, an OWL and stuff like that, and OMG specs. So yeah, I am available for work if needed until somebody gets me first.
Yeah, we're also starting up the Church Geek Speak again. If you remember that show, it was kind of the topical stuff, and Terry and I were talking, and we're going to probably do one on local, maybe get Mike Blumenthal, Darren Shaw, and if you want to join us tonight, you seem to got some chops, so I'll let you know. All right.
Let me know. I'll do the same thing for Evan Ask, but I'll do it in a little bit more practice format.
All right. Mr. Van Horn, sir.
I'm just, continuing. Buy a fresh can of gasoline and put out some fires.
You put out fires with fire. I like that. That's
Hey, Steve, can I make a suggestion? Right?
Yeah.
WooCommerce, not very, how do we say, scalable. OC can use OpenCart can use your WordPress templates now. I would look into that over WooCommerce.
It's only 7 products.
Oh no, 7 products go WooCommerce. You're fine. Fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, in the future,
yeah,
you would be much further ahead to look at OpenCart than.
I've used OpenCart, just not on WordPress. I did the.
But you can now integrate it with WordPress so that it takes on that template. It's really interesting stuff.
And I think where Sam took a wander, apparently, I don't know what the hell we're looking at except his fucking window. Very nice window, so that's all we got from West Sam. But fortunately, all he would have done was throw a fucking GIF in there anyway. So, all right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And everyone else, well, I think we're still kind of full up, but the links to the green room are there. And who knows, sometimes we're around here for a couple hours afterwards. You want to join us, go ahead. And just for anyone who doesn't know, Tuesdays, God, I'm groping here. 3 p.m. Eastern, is it, Bill?
Yes.
That's 3 p.m. Eastern is the next time you can find any of these wonderful people, which is Ammon and Bill's Bogus Adventure, and you can find that on Google Plus. Go check it out because they're always there and they're awesome. All right, folks. Till next time. Later.
Hey guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.